Hello, hello. Happy Real Talk Tuesday, family. How you doing? Welcome to POV, Being Black in Professional Sports. I'm Dr. Autumn Cavanis, Director of Big Futures Real Talk, and I'm so happy to see y'all because it's officially Real Talk Tuesday. You know the vibes, you know the energy. Don't meet us here, beat us here if you know. And fam, when I tell you that we have an extraordinary, phenomenal, illustrious all-star panel in the building. Can I say, and I'm really proud to say this because we've been working so hard behind the scenes over here at Real Talk. When I tell you that our panels have been paneling, can I say that our panels have been paneling? They absolutely have. And tonight is no exception, okay? When I tell you, family, 60 minutes, phenomenal all-star panel. We're going to get to the questions. Then we're going to get to more questions and more questions. Then we're going to play a little game that I love called Big Facts or Big Cap. And then we're going to talk about what's next. But I don't want any more verbiage on my end to stand between you and our illustrious all-star panel. So let's go ahead and see our panel. Producer, can you please bring in our incredible panel? Oh, there they are. Hey, panel. Hey, y'all. How are y'all doing?
Doing good.
You good?
Good.
Well, I'm so excited to see y'all. Key, I'm going to start with you. I would love to know your name, what you do, and the song that you are playing day in and day out right now on your playlist. Talk to us, Key.
Absolutely. So my name is Keith Frager with Havoc Sports. I'm brand talent manager. And it's not just one song. I think I'm rocking with a whole album right now. It's called Too Good to Be True by Meek Mill and Rick Ross. So that's what we're listening to right now.
I'm not mad at that. Key come in with the new, y'all, okay? All right. Let's go ahead because I'm looking right on my screen. Let's talk to Tariq. How you doing, Tariq?
I'm good, thank you. I'm Tariq Lagan. I'm currently getting my master's, so I'm interning in two different places right now. I'm interning for NFL agent at Wasserman, and then I'm interning in development at USC Athletics. And then I'm in my nostalgic era right now, my high school songs. So I'm listening to old school Gunna, not even old school, but it's been a little while since he dropped. So I'm listening to Gunna, Richard Millie playing.
All right, not mad at that. Thank you, Tariq. And we have a special guest. We wanted to make sure he made it. Sharif O'Neal is in the building. Sharif, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Talk to us about what you do. And we need a song that you are listening to 24/7, 365. What are you doing?
I'm Sharif O'Neal. I play basketball. I went to UCLA, LSU, did this former season in the G League. And my favorite song is Solo by Future. It's kind of an older song, but I like it.
All right. You got to roll with classics. Okay, Sharif? All right. Trey, how are you doing today, sir?
What's up? I'm doing great.
All right.
Yeah, my name is Trey Fields, former pro athlete, startup founder of a company called Jimble. It's a sports and scheduling payments software, and I'm a content creator as well. And if I had to pick one song, not a whole playlist, I'm gonna go anything by Maverick City. So it's from the Worship playlist.
I'm not mad at Maverick City, okay? Thank you very much, Trey. Miss Tiana Marie, all the way in Detroit, how are you doing today?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tian Marie. I am from the Detroit Pistons social media coordinator, and I think the song that I'm listening to the most is Moments by Justin Bieber and Diddy. Love the whole album.
Right, we are there. And Miss Ashton Washington, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm excellent. Talk to us about what you do and the song you're listening to right now or playlist.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I currently work at with the Chicago Bears. I'm the player personnel coordinator, and that pretty much means I work within college and pro scouting. And the song that I'm listening to, I broke it down from a playlist. It's called "Look at God" by Corin Hawthorne. It's from my gospel playlist.
I love it. All right, Real Talk fam, as you can see, our panel is real heavy in the building right now. So go ahead, start giving us your questions. We're going to get to them, okay? Let us see your questions. But in the interim, let's go ahead and get started with the first one. And I'm going to ask this for everyone on the panel. I'm in high school, so take yourself back a few years. All I do is think about a career in the sports industry. I want to be where you are. How do I get there? All-Star panel, thoughts? Help us out.
I think it's all about connections. One thing that I've learned is not really about what you know, or it's about who you know. I think when building up, who you know and your reputation, I think it's super important to find people on Instagram or find people on LinkedIn who are in your position and connect with them. Like we all say, shoot your shot. Like there's no harm in shooting your shot and asking them how they got to their position. So just look at people. If you're young, look at people who are at where you want to be, and just see how they move and see if they can if you can ask for help or any advice.
Thank you, Tiana Marie.
One thing I would say to piggyback off of Tiana, I think networking is definitely key. But one thing I feel like you have to do is speak it to existence. Working in sports is hard. I feel like everybody here can kind of speak on that. Trying to get a job in sports is extremely hard. So you got to speak it to existence. You got to see yourself doing it, and you got to build your own personal brand a little bit. To make yourself different from everybody else. So yeah, that's my 2 insight.
Thank you, Key.
I'll go with one of my favorite quotes is "Be where your feet are." So what that means is, when I was in high school and I was worrying about getting to college, and when I was in college worrying about getting to the pros, the best advice I ever got was be where your feet are. Give 100% to your high school team, your college team, your off the court, off the field opportunities. Dive into that, and then just trust the work, and trust that it's going to open up other doors. But if you're looking too far in advance, then you're going to miss what's right in front of you.
Let's go, Trey.
I was something. Oh, my bad. You can go.
Now you. All right, I'll go real quick. I agree with everything that everybody been saying. I agree with. I would say also you create your own luck. So in saying that, I mean, like, I was down to a bunch of D1 schools because I know I wanted to work in sports. So I felt like if I put myself in that situation to be surrounded by like D1 athletes, people ready to go to the draft, that'll allow me to make connections. So I was down to like USC, Villanova, Syracuse. So I chose schools basically that had a good sports program. And then I was able to network and then work in my athletic department there and then make connections to go to different organizations.
Thank you, Tariq. Sharif, then Ashton.
I would say for me, I was open to learning new things and, listening to people who were trying to help me out. Another thing for me is just trusting the work. There are going to be good days and bad days, but the end time goal, if you look at that and you're really focused on that, I feel like that's a good way to really push yourself to get to where you want to do. And I always just tell myself to go for it. You only live life once, so go for what you want to do and put your all into it.
Thank you, Sharif. Ashton?
I think the most important thing for myself and anyone on the panel that probably feels the same is don't let anybody take you away from what you want to do. Like what you have your eyes set on, what is your ultimate goal? Don't let anybody try to turn you or twist you a different way. Because once that happens, that's when a lot of dreams die. So always stay focused on the ultimate goal. It's going to take a lot of hurdles, but it's worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Real Talk fam, I need you to go ahead and keep giving us some questions. We want to hear the questions from y'all. And while we're doing that, I think we're going to go ahead and just do a pop quiz. I'm going to take you back a little bit, Ashton. I like a little pop quiz at your alma mater. We're doing this from Houston-Tillotson University, which is Austin's first institution of higher learning and only historically Black college and university. So it's only right we do a pop quiz. And pop quiz goes like this, fam. On April 15th, 1947, this gentleman broke baseball's long-standing color barrier when he debuted for the Brooklyn Dodgers at first base. So we're going to put the answer choices up in a minute. I think the panel has an idea already, but don't answer yet, panel. We want to know, who is this gentleman? April 15, 1947, he broke baseball's long-standing color barrier when he debuted for the Brooklyn Dodgers at first base. And let's go ahead and launch those questions and those answer choices for us, producer Desi. We have some answer choices that are going to pop up. The first one is A, Willie Mays, B, Hank Aaron, C, Ernie Banks, D, Cool Papa Bell, and E, Jackie Robinson. So let me see what the answer choices are looking like right now. Let's see what's going on. We're going to wait a couple seconds. Oh, okay. Okay, wait a minute. All-Star panel, our audience knows what time it is. Okay, we're going to give it a couple more seconds. We're going to do it in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to close that poll. All right, panelists, any idea of who this person is for the pop quiz?
Am I able to answer this?
Yes, you are. Yes, ma'am.
You said I can?
Yes.
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson. Hey, okay. And I had to share that. Any idea, Ashton, why we selected Jackie Robinson, why this was a question, especially at Houston-Tillotson University? You
said especially Houston-Tillotson University?
Yes, ma'am.
Most don't know this, but he actually coached there.
That's right. That's right. So before he went to the Monarchs, Jackie Robinson was actually one of the basketball coaches and athletic director here at the university, and later served on our board of trustees. So a little pop quiz, and I had to give an extra pop quiz on there, okay? So let's get to some of these questions. All right. The first one I see in the building right now is, let's see. Okay. This is a good one from Bailey. And Bailey wants to know, how can I become recognized and get my name out there? So Bailey is curious, wants to enter your industry, All-Star panel. How does Bailey become recognized? And how does Bailey and anyone else who's listening get their name out there? Any ideas, panel?
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead. No, you good. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Oh, thanks. I think for me, especially working in social in the NBA, it's really all about personal branding. Like how I even knew about Real Talk was through my TikTok. So personal branding's like super key. Obviously, it's kind of hard to show everything that I do because I do spend a lot of time with the players, and so a lot of things are confidential. But building your LinkedIn presence and like your social presence outside of LinkedIn. I know LinkedIn is a social tool, but I just think of it as another professional outlet. But building your brand, showing people what you do. Like my boss always tells me, don't be ashamed in promoting what you do and who Tiana Marie is. So I think really building your portfolio and your resume on these social media outlets is really, really important to get your name out there and to get noticed, especially in my field, because all we see is people's social media pages. So whatever people see on the internet, they're going to always pre-perceive. So make sure you look good on those outlets and your work shows and speaks for itself.
Thank you. Key?
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback off of that, definitely, use your social media, because I didn't get I think my route was different. I didn't get a route where it's like, okay, I went to school and then, I did, a few internships and then I got the job. I kind of like jumped in pre-COVID. I was working with the Washington Wizards pre-COVID. COVID happened, they snatched that away. And then I said, you know what? I noticed how a lot of athletes didn't do marketing. And I was like, here's an opportunity for me to jump in and get deals for them. And I didn't even know what a contract should look like. I knew, coming from the DMV area, obviously I knew athletes. I've been around athletes, Steve Francis, Kevin Durant, all them type of guys. And, I started asking questions, about, endorsements and et cetera. And I just started being a sponge. And I said, you know what, let me try it. So I ended up moving to Seattle, working with my first client that I had that played for the Seattle Seahawks. And I literally just put a deal together, my first deal ever, his first deal. And that's how I got my foot in the door, so it's like really, and I started documenting that too. I started showing that and showing people like, hey, your route don't have to be the same like everybody else's. You can literally jump in and make a name for yourself to the point where you build your own seat and bring it to the table. So I would think just kind of, throw yourself out there, try it. Worst case scenario, if it don't work, you can do something else, but at least give yourself, that the effort to try.
Thank you, Key. Any other responses, panel?
Yeah, I would say this is some from personal experience. Once you put your name out there of I'm doing this, you can't be scared to put it out the next day and the next day and the next, because people gonna forget. You're gonna feel like, oh, I said I'm doing this on Tuesday. They gonna be tired of hearing me. Like, you gotta know the people that want to see you succeed are never gonna get tired of hearing you promote yourself. And then every time that you do that, you're giving yourself a chance for other people to know what you're doing and support your goals. But if they don't know them or see them, then it's harder for you to have that stickiness of, oh, this is what I'm doing. So don't get tired of promoting yourself.
Can we dig a little bit deeper in that, y'all? What if you're afraid to promote yourself or put yourself out there? Any steps that you would take or any words of advice or encouragement that you would give?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it going. You got to do it scared. Do it while you're scared. Do it while you're uncomfortable. Like, I have a pretty big TikTok presence. I'd be posting stuff that I don't want to share, but I know that there's an end goal for it and there's a purpose behind it. So just got to do it, and you're going to get used to it over time, but it doesn't change that feeling of, like, is this a good idea or is this what I want to put my name on? That feeling might not ever go away. So just get comfortable.
All right. Thank you, Trey. All right. This is a good question, and this is from Gabrielle. And Gabrielle wants to know, how do you mentally come back from your injury? And Gabrielle posed this to Sharif, but I'm going to pose this to Sharif and a couple other on the panel, because I know y'all have all experienced adversity or a chapter in your life where it's like, how do I mentally come from this? Sharif, can you help us out first? How do you mentally come?
Yeah. My injury I went through was I had to get an open heart surgery at 18 years old, my freshman year at UCLA. And the biggest thing for me wasn't the physical part about it. It was the mental part about it. It's kind of an injury. That was actually my first injury I've ever had. It's pretty hard to deal with. You just got to it's a mental battle. That's all I'm going to say. You just kind of got to power over it. Any injury you have, even if it's a small ankle sprain, it's still annoying because you're not out there playing or not out there moving at your 100%. But, always look at the end goal. Like I said in the first question I answered, I feel like that was a big thing for me. And then, while you are injured, I found other hobbies that I like doing to take my mind off of that injury. So that was a big thing for me getting through my surgery. I had to sit out 1 year and 9 months. So, I started doing a little bit of other things. I started making beats, getting more into video games, spending time with friends and family, just to take my mind off of it. And sooner than later, it was over with. So that was one way I got through it.
Thank you, Sharif.
Kind of going off with Sharif. So I had a season-ending injury in junior year of college. So I broke my leg in half during one of my basketball games. So that was going into my junior year. So at that time, I know Sharif probably understands, basketball is our whole world, and Trey, basketball is our whole world. We think we're going to go to the league and da-da-da. So when that's taken away from you, I kind of went into a slump. But also, I'm Christian, so that slump introduced me to my career path, because I was able to get a redshirt year. So I had to pick another minor because I had more time. So I picked a minor that was media and cultural studies, which is perfect. I learned about social, documenting, video editing, and all that stuff. So if it wasn't for my injury and me sitting out 1 year and having that extra time, I would not be working in sports, period. So really, that injury might suck so bad, but just know the universe has a reason for why you're there, and that's the time for you to grow. That's the time for you to look into yourself and to see what else you like. Like Sharif said, hobbies. I really picked up video editing. I wanted to document. So that's kind of how I got my career path starting. So that setback just is a major comeback. So just keep that in mind to keep you pushing.
Thank you. Now, this is Real Talk. So a question that I really want to get y'all's insight. Autumn, I don't know if I want to do sports after high school, especially considering my sport is predominantly white. My sport is field hockey. What steps should I take to help me make that decision? Any ideas, panel?
I don't think you should be, thinking otherwise. If you really love field hockey, you shouldn't look at the race aspect. Why not change the barrier? Why not try something new? And what people always say is create your seat at the table, bring a chair to the table. So I think that's a perfect opportunity if you want to go forward with field hockey. I think that's amazing.
Thank you, Ashton. Agreed. Any other insight, panelist?
I think that's the perfect answer. I was literally about to say the same thing. Like I said, you gotta create an opportunity. Obviously, you've been in it for a while. You know it probably more than a lot of people. So you know the ins and outs. You know what it's like being in a different race. So it's like create that. Show people the real. The stuff that people don't really get to see. That way more people gonna want to get into it. So that's how I look at it.
Right.
And I kind of want to just touch back on that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in my position where I am now with the Chicago Bears, I sit back and I look at it. I'm like, well, 3 years ago, there was no Black woman sitting in this role. There wasn't necessarily a woman in this role. So again, why not change the game? Why not you?
And if you just playing field hockey because it's fun and you like it and you like staying in shape, I would say take the time to identify what spaces you feel valued in or you feel a part of and identify those. Because if someone's telling you to play and you're not feeling it, then kind of dig deeper into why you don't want to. But if you love the game, absolutely chase that and don't listen to anybody else or care who's already there.
Ooh, I told you, Real Talk fam, our panel gonna come with everything you need. Everything you need. Let's get to the next question. This is from Arya. For someone who's interested in sports and media, I want to choose a career path that will be prosperous for me. Can I have insight on what sports interns look like or how your media lifestyle looks like? Any insight for Arya? Tracy?
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, we can read it again. And then we'll go to Tariq and then Trey. For someone who is interested in sports and media, I want to choose a career path that will be prosperous for me. Can I have insight on what sports internships look like or how your media lifestyle looks like?
Yeah, just so, hi, Arya. I've had multiple internships in sports. What I'm doing right now is basically an internship. So I started with the Dodgers. I went to the Clippers, USC Athletics, and then Wasserman. So doing all that, I would say it takes up a lot of your time. You definitely have to be flexible on the weekends. For my Wasserman internship with the agent, it's kind of like outside hours. It might be late at night. Something might happen with a client. They might need you. If you're more on the team side, it could just be early mornings, and then you're not leaving until 11 or 12 at night if it's a long game. So you just have to be flexible. So you really just have to be passionate if you really do want to be an intern in the sports industry.
All right, thank you. Panelists, any other insight?
It's that passion part. And I tell, we have interns come in. I'm interviewing interns. I'm trying to see if they really, really love football. Do you like football because of the logos? Do you like it because this is the NFL and the Shield? Or do you really have a passion for football that you can be in here 24/7? For instance, this is an example. My team, not just my players or our players, but the people in the personnel department, we're around each other more than we see our own families. So you have to kind of grip that into your mind. It's I'm going to have to give my all and then some. And that passion piece is the only thing that's going to push you through it. And it plays into what Sharif said about the mental game. His was mentally within the injury aspect, but you also got to have the mental ability, whether you're an athlete, the playing aspect, the working element, and that's from intern all the way to general manager of a team. It's all about the mental and the passion.
Yeah, and to add on, Ashton, my fault.
Go ahead.
I'm smiling because the two words that stand out are prosperous and like what does the lifestyle look like? I'm sure everybody on this call can speak to. You might be in a role for a period of time where you are in the trenches, right? You are doing stuff you don't want to do. Like Ashton said, you have to love it because what you're doing at the start of your career is not what you're going to be doing 3, 4, 5 years later. Like none of us can sit here and give advice if we didn't have times where we were me, for example, changing in the media closet as a practice player before you get a jersey. So I think lean into like the love and don't care about the lifestyle because the lifestyle will come on the other side of it. It's so cliche, but it's true. So yeah.
That's good, Trey. Trey gave us a whole caption, a T-shirt. Lean into the. What did you say? Lean into the love. Look
I
right
don't know.
there.
I just look. It just be bars coming out. I'll just be chatting. So
Just a bar. Just a bar. All right. Anything else that y'all wanted to add on that? Y'all good?
Last thing, Professor Cavanis,
Yes,
is you might have some days where the passion and love is the only thing that's going to push you through. And it's when you're starting at the bottom. Even when you get to the mid-level and you get to the top, you still going to feel it. But when you're at the bottom, that's what's going to push you through those long hours and say, I got to keep going. I got to keep going. I got to keep going. And let's say in the sports business, firing, that's normal. So let's say you get fired. Your team, your coach, everybody gets fired on staff. Okay. Do I have enough love and a passion to put my back against the wall and bounce back? That's when you really figure it out, is you have the ability to come back. Comeback season.
Would it be safe to say that when you're around others who have that passion for what you're doing in the industry, you can sense that? You can feel that other passion when others have that as well?
Oh, absolutely. And you can read right through it. All I need is 5 to 10 minutes to see if you really love the game of football. It's quite easy because when you have the passion for it and then you meet somebody else that has a passion for it, it's like an automatic attraction, magnetic thing. It's like I'm just smiling right now because you just see it, you feel it, you hear it. And then that's somebody you want on your team. And the best part about that is if they have different ideas from you and they don't necessarily agree with you all the time, the number one rule in our draft room is if everybody's agreeing with each other, then no one is scouting. That's like our number one rule in the room because I want to see what you see. I can't tell you what you see. So look, I'm going to go on left. I'm going scouting wise, but it's all about that. It's the passion. You feel it. You see it. You hear it.
And I will keep saying this, right? When we think about literally being our ancestors' wildest dreams, like living lives that are their wildest dreams, this is where we really seek that alignment and that passion and whatever speaks to you and whatever resonates with you, right, fam? As you can see, we have an amazing panel that is here and that wants to answer all your questions and really talk to your passions. And I just feel you deserve that, right? If there's something you're passionate about, really lean into that. I'm taking your saying, Trey, really lean into the love of that and really make a go of that. All right, let's get to some more questions because we're going real deep right now. And I like that, fam. I like where we're going. I want to know, and this is from Nakia, is it too late to get noticed by colleges for basketball if you go into your junior year with no offers or being unknown?
No, it's not too late. I got recruited senior year, halfway through my senior year of high school. Like, I'm telling y'all, I think my mom's on this thing. The day I told her I wanted to quit basketball is the day my scout called me to offer me a ride at my Rollins College. Sorry, all my words. So it's not too late. I think when I played AAU, EYBL, I did all of that. So it just, the offers didn't shake that summer. So I knew going into my senior year of high school basketball season, like I had to kick butt, like I had to play. I'm also a twin, so we were getting recruited at the same time, and she ended up tearing her ACL, so I didn't have my twin by me either. So like my back was against the wall, kind of like what Ashton said. Like I had the love of the game of basketball, so I had that vision. I manifested I'm going to get a scholarship. literally when I told my mom I wanted to quit, my college coach called me. So you just never know what's going to happen. Seriously, keep pushing. It's never, ever, ever too late. Like, I was down to the wire for the recruiting process, and I got my scholarship. So it's never too late at all.
I don't know if you've ever heard the story about how Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team, and he didn't have anything, and then that 1 year he became who he is today. And I know plenty of people who didn't get recruited by schools at all their whole years of high school, and they're still making millions of dollars somewhere overseas, or even some people in the NBA weren't even the best player on their high school team, or didn't have too many big D1 offers. My little brother is also a good example. He didn't have any recruitment going into his senior year, and then he had a few good games towards playoffs senior year, and he got a scholarship to Texas Southern in Houston. So, I feel like, yes, if you love the game and you love what you do, you always just think about the best, and you put your all into it, then people are going to see how hard you work and how bad you want it. So somebody always needs that on their team, and there's hundreds and hundreds of schools that need a player like that.
All right. I appreciate you, panelists. Let's go ahead. We're going to switch it up just a little bit, right? We're going to switch it up, and then we're going to get back to the questions. We're going to play a little game today, and it's going to be called Big Facts or Big Cap. So Big Facts or Big Cap. I'm going to share with our all-star panel, Real Talk fam, a few statements. And panel, if I'm saying big facts, I need you to give me like thumbs up, like you agree with the statement. But if it's 100% capping over here and it's big cap, I just need you to make like an X with your hands. Like, just let us know that that's not, Autumn is over there just giving us cap, all right? Don't trust what she's saying. And let's start with the first statement. Illustrious all-star panel, there is a right school to enter the sports industry. There is a right school to enter the sports industry. Is that big fact? Oh, there we go. Okay, I see a whole lot cap. Okay, talk to us, y'all, because we get a lot of questions about.
No way. No way.
All right, go ahead.
I went
Ash.
to a university with no football team and ended up working for an NFL team. Like, come on now. There's no way. I don't believe that. Anybody else got something to say?
We always say
No.
that.
Come on, help me out.
No, I agree. There's no way. There's no way. Like, my school is a predominantly white school that had 1,000 kids, and it was a business school. Like, come on out. You make your own way. You make your own path. Don't let your school dictate what you can and cannot do at all.
At one point, I used to think that when I first when I was super early in the game, when I did this internship in LA, and they told me, forget the school. I mean, they don't even care about the school that you went to. It's really, can you do the job? You know what I mean? If you can prove that you can do the job and, show up in that way, that's last. That's like making your college team. You know what I mean? As a freshman, you know what I mean? You're going to that next level. It's like nobody cared about what you did, to a certain extent. Nobody cared about what you did. And then, it's like improving yourself again. So it's the same way, in the working field.
All right. Any other thoughts, panelists?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely cap. Even though earlier I was saying like I chose my school based on the sports network, but you don't have to do that. Like, I just did that because I thought it would be easier for me to make connections that way. And it did work in my favor. But somebody else can go to a different school that might not be as known and still work in the industry as well. So it really don't matter where you go.
I think for me, I have to do a constant like description, location, address, name of my school as at least 10 million times. If somebody asks me, like, for instance, I went to Houston-Tillotson University, right? So it's Houston-Tillotson. So you automatically think that it's near TSU, Texas Southern, Houston, Texas. So you have to like go through a whole thing. And I'm like, no, it's not in Houston, Texas. It's in Austin, Texas. And so when people think Austin, Texas, they immediately think Texas Longhorns, UT. So I have to do like a constant description again about where my school is located. And I went to an HBCU, and that means a lot to me. And we can get a little bit deeper in that later. But yeah, it's all about describing the school. And it's all about what you do, really. Like, can you get the job done? Are you authentic? Are you genuine? Are you a people person? And that takes you a long way in the sports industry. Like, you got to be genuine. You got to have loyalty, be good with people.
And I always say, Ashton, at your alma mater, because there was not a football team, the football team remained undefeated, as we say here in 900 Chacon. And I will also say for Discover HBCUs, we can get into that a little bit more later. But if you go ahead, fam, and tap that QR code, you'll be able to find on Big Future an entire list of HBCUs. So you can learn more about institutions that will really be able to connect with you. All right. So let's go to the next question. Since the panel unanimously said that was Big Cap, to make it in the sports industry, it's not what you know, it's who you know. To make it in the sports industry, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. I like this question from a professor perspective because the panel is thinking, y'all. The panel is thinking. Some of y'all finding answers that are halfway. Okay. All right.
I would say halfway, just because how I got in is who I knew. Like, my story's super crazy. Like, my mom forced me to go to this networking event that her friend was hosting with the Orlando Magic. And my mom talked to this random lady. At the time, I didn't realize who she was, but to me, she was a random lady at that time. And my mom's really tall. My mom's like, "Oh, girl, you're tall. We should all take a tall girl picture." Y'all, so random. Tell me why. She goes, "Yeah, I played volleyball at UCF." And I was like, "Oh, I played basketball at Rollins." She's like, "Oh, I talked to your team a year ago. I'm Shelly Wilkes, VP of the Magic's marketing." I'm like, "Girl, I remember you." So then she's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm just getting my master's. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing right now." She said, "Well, you should apply for a social media GA for the Magic." And rest is history. I got that job. Now I'm here. So for my personal experience, it helped me that who I knew, but also it's about what you know too in your experience and what you can bring to the table.
All right. And Tiana Marie, if your mom's watching, shout out to your mom, okay? She wasn't playing. She had a plan.
I always shout her out. She like, "You're going to this and you have no choice." And I'm glad I did. So
she had a plan, okay? All right. Who else?
That's a hard one, man. The answer is both. It's a trick question. That's how I really feel. It's a trick question because yes, connections get you into the door, but it's no handouts out here. Nobody is doing favors for anybody that doesn't know what they're talking about or is knowledgeable or has a skill set. So I would say act as if can't nobody help you, right? Learn, do it yourself, be knowledgeable. Act as if that's the case, but then go meet other people. So that's why it's house divided, I feel like.
All right. That's fair. That's fair. Any other thoughts, panel?
Yeah, at first I was like, yes, completely, it's who you know. Because I literally got friends that get positions just because they're like cousin or their mom was somebody or knew somebody. And like that's very discouraging for me because like I'm first generation. So like I have to make all my connections. So when I see people get jobs just because their family knows somebody, it's discouraging. But back to the question, I do feel like it's both. Because if I do meet the right person and get a position, you're not going to stay in that position if you don't know what you're doing, if you can't bring value to the table. So it's a mixture of both. You got to have the right connections, but also be able to prove yourself once you get in that position.
And I like this follow-up question from Enizo Bajo, who says, what are some resources that we can use to network?
Ooh, the first one, I mean, especially in my, in my field, I feel like LinkedIn, everybody should be on it. That's the business. Instagram, you know what I mean? And I feel like that right there is, you can figure out who's in whatever company they're in and get that direct person. And what I do is I find a person on LinkedIn, find them on Instagram, connect with them on Instagram, and get the email. So it's like, you got to see me regardless, especially me working with like the athletes and being their brand manager and trying to find them deals, endorsements, PR. It's like, I have to grind to get that, so it's like, that's how I, stay connected with everyone.
Thank you, Key. Any other thoughts, panel, on how to network? What do you do?
I would say just keep like IG DMs, like keep it simple. I have like made money, got business partnership opportunities, whatever, through people leaving a comment on my post, sending me an IG request. And don't think that people are too big and they're unreachable. Like, shoot your shot, because you never know. Like, I DM'd at TikTok during the pandemic, and they didn't see it until 8 months later. So just shoot your shot, IG DMs, comments, somebody's going to see it, and it's a numbers game. So yeah, use what platforms people are already using for entertainment.
Any thoughts, panel, on getting an internship? Because we're getting a few questions in the chat about, I'm looking for an internship, summer job. Where do I find leads? What should I do?
Yeah, so yeah, I was going to say the same exact thing. I'm saying the same thing, so you can go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
Teamworks.com is a great resource. That's basically where all the teams put their job openings. Like for social, for my job, I actually create posts that link back to our Teamworks website. So that is really where all the sports teams put all their job openings. I've gotten some leads in the past for some internships there. So that's basically what I use.
All right. Thank you, Tiana Marie. Tariq?
Yeah, I was going to say the same exact thing. Teamworkonline.com, that's like the key. Like all professional sports teams usually post their positions up there. But also, if you're on LinkedIn, you're heavy on LinkedIn, sometimes the organization will post that this internship is opening. So that's another thing I use too, just to see what positions are available at the time.
All right. Any other thoughts, panelists, on that? We good? Okay. And I will also say, y'all, if you go to Big Future, tap that QR code. We also have internships as well. And some of them are sports related, so feel free to check that out. And fam, let's get to the last question on Big Facts or Big Cap. There is a right major to enter the sports industry. There is a right major. Oh, y'all quick to enter the sports industry. Quick, Trey even turned away from the screen. Okay. All right. Is that all 100% cap? Is that what I'm doing at your alma mater?
That's 110%. 110, not even 100.
All right. Why so? Let us know, y'all.
Who's diving in? Is it me?
I mean,
I thought you were gonna say something.
I'll take it. You want me to take it?
You know what? I'm going to go back to professor mode. Ms. Ashton Washington, yes, please. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I majored in mass communications with a minor in journalism. I thought I was going to be the next Anderson Cooper 360, if you've seen CNN, which is a news station. I know most don't watch cable TV anymore. So on CNN, newscaster, I got an intern my freshman year while I was in college with a news station in Austin, Texas, ABC News. They turned me down probably 8 to 9 times my fall semester of my freshman year. And I think they got to the point where they were just irritated and they were like, we're going to hire her. Because they kept saying I was too young. And they brought me in spring semester. I go in, I have a news internship, right, with ABC. I'm sitting around, I'm looking, and I'm like, yeah, this is not what I want to do. And so I call my dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, yeah, I thought I wanted to be in news, but I take it back. This is not it for me. And he's like, what you mean? He was like, you got to figure, you got to finish that thing out. I was like, yeah, this is not it. And so I eased my way into the sports area where the sports news reporters were, or the sportscasters, and I liked what they did, right? And so they were going to Texas high school football games. If you play high school football, Texas is one of the best. I'm being biased. And so, we would go to football games and I would go around and I'm like, yeah, I want to be in sports for the rest of my life. And the sport I want to be in is football. Like, you don't have to pay me anything, right? So then I get into it and I'm like, yeah. And again, this has nothing to do with my major. Like, where my career took me had nothing to do with mass communications, really, because I left reporting journalism and I ended up in scouting. So no way.
Thank you, Ashton. Any other thoughts, panel?
So my major was sociology. I went to Yale University. I built a tech company with the great help of my founding team and people that are involved. I ain't know nothing about tech. I had a problem that I wanted to solve, and I went on to Google and said, how do you build an app? And learned about designing and wireframing and bringing in the right people. And also every call that I've had to push forward my company, nobody asked me, what was your major in college? Like, we're in a world where people just care about the body of work that you are doing and have done in the real world, not what you did and studied in undergrad. It is helpful. I feel like I use my degree to think about how people operate. So you can definitely go and get a skill set and an education that can shape what you do on a daily basis. But if you want to pivot and say, I'm going to go do theater, go do it at a high level for 3 years, and no one's going to ask you, hey, did you major in theater studies? Like, it's just not how the world works.
Thank you, Trey. Any other thoughts, panel? We good? All right, let's get to some more questions because I see lots of questions right now in the chat. Carrie's giving a shout out when we were talking about moms, Tiana Marie. She said, mom's rule. Good looking out, mom. All right, look, you see that? How about this one? For those of you getting master's degrees, what did you get your master's degree in? And that's from Deja.
I got my master's degree. Oh, Tyreek, I'm sorry.
You're good. No, you're good. Go ahead again.
No, go ahead.
I'm getting my master's right now in marketing. It's a little like my school does a 5-year program. So I just graduated in May, and then I graduate next May with my master's. And it's in marketing. I honestly, like, I'm just going to be real. I didn't choose something that was more like complex because I knew I wanted to work and intern while I'm getting my master's. Like, the value is more so in what you're doing with your internships rather than school. That's how I feel. So.
All right. Thank you, Tariq.
I would agree with Tariq. So I got my master's in media studies. So kind of building off what I minored in. And yeah, I'm so grateful that I had my parents to help me put me through my master's program. But in this industry, experience is, in my opinion, so much more valuable. But my master's degree is it is helping me with my job. I think definitely learning how people digest media, and so how I can build up those concepts with the NBA team. But yeah, experience is very much key.
All right. Another question, and panel, I'm just going to really toss a lot of questions our way. I want to become a sports agent. This is from Lori. Do I need a law degree to do this? And how do I get in contact with Havoc Sports after the session?
You can DM me. You know, like I said, I'm an easy person to talk to. I get it because I was the same way when I first was trying to get in. I used to ask a lot of questions. I didn't care here about no. If you're gonna tell me no, that's cool. I'm going to the next person that asks. You know, but you don't need a law degree. You know what I mean? At all. You know, obviously, we all know. Well, some of us know. You know, the Rich Paul, story. You know, it's really putting yourself out there. And even though he went to go get it, but it's like putting yourself out there to gain the knowledge. And my route, I found out I didn't want to be a sports agent. I wanted to be more on the brand side. So if you do look at like LeBron James' team, he got Rich Paul, he got Maverick Carter. I like what Mav do more than Rich Paul do, even though they both is key to, to the athlete. So you don't really need that. But like I said, my thing is getting experience and putting yourself out there to working with some athletes and see what can you bring to the table for them. Because a lot of athletes, again, you'll be surprised how many athletes don't do marketing at all. And we are in the era of NIL too, so you can start early and people still don't take advantage of it, and you got athletes that are, the top athletes, and you got some athletes that are on the lower level that even if you're on the lower level, you still can make a lot of money, by branding yourself. So that's where we come into play and trying to help these guys and women, get deals, get opportunities, because it is out here to get.
Thank you, Key. And can you quickly, because we can spend probably a whole day on this, what's NIL? Can you bring everyone up to speed?
It stands for name, image, likeness. Something I wish I had when I played, but you're not going to speak too much on that, But so now, athletes can profit off of their name. Obviously, back in the day, you had a lot of athletes that was on covers of different magazines and, obviously the jerseys getting sold. But now athletes, if you look around, athletes are. Some athletes making millions of dollars, thousands of dollars just by, making posts and partnering with local companies and national brands now. So.
All right. What's the best pathway for Ashton to professional coaching? NFL, most specifically, if you're not a professional athlete.
Honestly, truly, is starting off high school football. If you don't have a necessary access to get to a college team and get around college coaches, then high school football is a good way to start. Because you got to think about it. You got college coaches coming to high schools to recruit kids. So that's old school, but you're shaking hands, you're meeting people. And it's what we talked about earlier, is being a people person. And then incorporating while they're there on their visits to visit your high school students, incorporating what you do in your position, in your role, if you're a coach there, if you're a student assistant. Also, if you get an opportunity to work with a college team, then it's the same thing with the NFL wise, right? You have NFL scouts coming to college campuses to do what? Scout your players. And it's the same thing. And then you start noticing it's such a small community, small network within sports, within football. And I know you guys on the panel and ladies on the panel can say the same thing. It's such a small network that you start seeing people who are on a lower level. When I say lower level, high school, college, that are now coaching in the NFL or coaching in the CFL or coaching in the XFL, USFL, and those are now combined, XFL and USFL. And so you just start kind of seeing the same faces. So it's always good to treat people well, whether you do meet somebody that's in an internship position at an agency or an internship position at a team, because you never know where they end up at. Always good to be good with people. So I think that's the best part, is just trying to get access within where you are. So take advantage of it.
And I want to ask everyone this on the panel, right? We have a few more moments. Quickly, do you view your present position as a stepping stone to another position that you desire? Or is this your dream job? And this is from Sharon. Do you view your present position as a stepping stone to another position? Or is this your dream job?
My current job, I view as a stepping stone to get to the next position. So I really want to be an agent. Right now, I'm working for NFL agents, so I'm learning directly from them on the things I need to do to be successful and to become an agent. So yeah, this is a stepping stone for me.
All right. Thank you.
I would say this is a stepping stone for me. Like, my ultimate goal is to be someone like Key, getting athletes brand deals. Even though I'm on the social side, I'm actually positioning myself within my job. I work with our influencers and celebrity side. So we do a lot of content with influencers and stuff like that. So working with them and seeing how I can match the Detroit brand with them is ultimately helped me learn how I can create other brand deals and work with culture around athletes and influencers. So yeah, definitely a stepping stone for sure.
Thank you, Tiana Marie.
I think for me, I'm not gonna lie, I love what I do, just because, I feel like, again, the route that I took, it wasn't no handout. I jumped in, and I feel like, especially being an entrepreneur, I had a chance to really create something that can't nobody take from me, because it's been jobs I was trying to get with agencies, teams. I heard so many no's, but it's like that built me to where I am right now, to the point where it's like, okay, I might still interview just to do it, just to do it, just to kind of get the feeling back. But I love what I do now. But I feel like what I'm doing now and building now is like almost like a step up to me getting to the point where I want to tell stories more, getting to the storytelling and actually creating that content where obviously different athletes, not just athletes, influencers, talent, everybody, and just really producing almost like a movie almost. So, I feel so it's a stepping stone to where I feel like I see myself.
Thank you, Key. Trey?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I guess my two jobs on paper, one is influencer, the other one is sports technology founder. I do not want to be making TikToks at 30-some years old, right? I think it's what's hot right now. But kind of like what Key said, leaning more into storytelling, which I do on a daily basis for myself, just being able to do it at a bigger level. that exists outside of short form content, right? Like short film, docuseries, just telling stories that have an impact on the world. So the title doesn't really matter, but it's more so the purpose and what I'm doing with people. So I know that job will change.
Thank you, Trey. Ashton and then Sharif.
I think for me, the ultimate goal is like a player. I wanted to be in the NFL. That's the pinnacle, the 1% to me. I didn't know when I was going to get there. I didn't know how old I was going to be. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I knew I was going to work in the NFL one day. It happened sooner than I thought, but that was my ultimate goal. That was my dream job. Now that I'm here, it's what Trey said earlier. I'm being where my feet are. In my role, what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to be the best player personnel coordinator within pro and college scouting that I can possibly be and bring value and help the Chicago Bears in any way possible that I can. So I'm not necessarily thinking ahead. I'm just working right now and grinding, trying to perfect this. And I know we brought up quotes, but the quote that I'm living right now is if you think you're the whole picture, you don't understand the entire picture. And the entire picture is the Chicago Bear on my chest right now. So I can't necessarily think past my role. And it's all about perfecting and crafting, like I said, and being the best at what I'm doing right now.
That's a flaw.
A whole bar. Look, we about to have a whole remix to that Meek and Rick Ross album right there. Okay, whole bars on that. All right, Sharif.
Professor Cavaness, I apologize. Our general manager is calling me right now. Am I good to take Mr. Pohl's call?
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Sharif?
I would say every day I do my dream job. Of course, basketball is what I've always wanted to do, but it is a stepping stone, of course, because there's so many levels of basketball. There's so many different leagues, but, everyone kind of focuses on the main one, and that's the NBA. And not a lot of people make it. There's so many spots. There's so many good players in the world. Some of the best players in the world aren't even in the NBA. So, it's a crazy thing to think about. But yes, of course, it's a stepping stone. I know it's a grind, and not everyone gets it done the same way. But it's a small stepping stone to where you want to be in the basketball world if you want to play. So I would consider it one.
Thank you, Sharif. And I'm going to ask y'all one last question. But before I get to that question, people want to know, how do we get in contact with you? Do you mind dropping your IG or your TikTok handles? Jody would like to know, for those of you on the panel. All right.
Yes. Do we just say it or do we type it?
Go ahead and tell us, Tiana Marie. Go ahead.
Okay, so you guys can follow me on TikTok and Instagram's the same, but it's Tiana, TIANNA _MARIE. But I have like 6 E's on Instagram and like 4 on TikTok, but you'll find me.
All right. Thank you.
And then LinkedIn's just my name, Tiana Marie, if you guys are on there too.
Okay. Trey?
Yeah, mine's just at T-Phils, my first letter and my last name. I should pop up on TikTok or IG. IG, though. Hit me on IG if y'all need me.
All right. Thank you, Trey.
Yeah, if you guys need, IG's the best way for me too.
Okay, as well. Okay, that's preferred. Okay. Thank you,
Yeah,
Tiana.
I was about to do the same thing. So my IG is literally the same, and TikTok. So it's key.frager on everything, honestly. So that's how you'll find me. The best way to reach me, like I said, is Instagram. I'm super active on there. So, yeah, hit me up.
All right. Tariq?
Yeah, my Instagram and TikTok are the same. It's Schoolboy RIQ. And you could just hit me on Instagram because I'm just more on touch up there.
All right. Sharif and then Ashton.
Pretty much I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. It's all just my full name, Sharif O'Neal. Instagram is the one I use the most. And I do also look at my direct messages all the time because, I just like helping people out. All
right. Thank you, Sharif. Ashton?
For me, it would be email. I don't know how many people use email, but ashton.washington@bears.nfl net. And then Professor Cavanis, you're more than welcome to share that. I check my email. I don't ignore emails. I'm just like Sharif. I want to use my platform and help others, whether that's internships, you want to know how to get an internship, applications, anything like that. So I'm here for help. Be a pipeline.
All right. Last question, panel. Last question, I promise. What advice, knowing what you know about life, because y'all have seen a lot of things, y'all done a lot of things, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self, knowing what you now know about life?
One thing I'd tell my 18-year-old self would be to love your story. You know, for a while, I didn't love my story. Like, I'm be honest, because obviously, as a hooper that didn't make it, you know, obviously your goal is like everybody else, make it pro. You know, make it to the league. When that don't happen, you kind of like lose yourself a little bit. And I lost myself probably for like a year. I watched the whole year go by, and I was in the same position. And I was like, dang, what am I about to do next? You know, and so I found, you know, my passion. And then I felt like my story wasn't good enough because it was like, oh, I didn't make it to that top level. What I'm about to do, you know? So I had to really dig deep and really fall in love with just my story, my route, how I got to where I was, just everything. And, you know, use that because really your story will open up more doors than you expect, you know, by being authentic. Some people don't even go to school and still turn out, you know, in great positions. And, you know, and I'm speaking for myself. I didn't finish, you know, school, you know, so it's like for me to still jump in in a lane for myself and create something that going to last for a long time. You know, I had to love my story.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Key. Tariq?
I would say don't be afraid to put yourself out there. It took me a long time to do that. Like all through high school and college, I just started making TikToks when I started working for the Clippers. And when I did that, everything became much easier. Like I wasn't afraid to go to people as much because I'm already out there. Like I guess I'm a personality. People coming up to me saying they see me on TikTok, but I'm really like a shy person. But me making content, me continue to like work on my personal brand and put myself out there has allowed me to get the positions I'm in today.
Thank you, Tariq. Tiana Marie?
Kind of what Key said. I think I would tell my 18-year-old self to be authentic and don't compare yourself to other people. I think in the sports industry, it can be toxic sometimes because you can see people doing certain things or getting promotions, and that's like in any career path. So for me, like, don't compare and be true to who you are. Because in college, I had a lot of white spaces. I didn't have a lot of people who looked like me. So being true to myself and sticking to what I believe can open so many doors for you.
Thank you, Tiana Marie. Ashton?
You know, this is called real talk, right? So I'm about to be really honest. First things first, I've noticed a lot of us have a lot of things in common. I'm one of the hoopers that didn't necessarily make it to where I thought I was. So if at 18 you would have told me I wasn't going to play either in the WNBA or if I wasn't going to play overseas, I would have ignored you and been like, yeah, you're crazy. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So I would have told myself to stop being so hard-headed. I was a knucklehead athlete. I was one of the athletes where I was good. I knew I was good. And so I kind of used my athletic privileges and try to get by that way. And then I learned when I got to my first year of college, I came in on a basketball scholarship. And it was a partial scholarship, right? And 2 weeks before our first game, I learned that and this is where the real talk comes in, I learned my SATs were not high enough in order to play. And at that moment, you telling a star athlete 2 weeks before a game, like, hey, your SAT scores are low. You can't play in the first game of your freshman season. You're going to have to take that in December, and then we can renegotiate your scholarship and your playing time and so on. So me, again, being a knucklehead, I took my basketball shoes, I threw them in my locker, and I never went back. And Professor Cavanis, I've never shared this with you. Again, this is real talk, but Professor Cavanis actually changed my entire life. And when I say she changed my entire life, I lost my scholarship in basketball and I had my back against the wall. When you're an athlete, like you've been playing that sport since you were like 3, 4, like that's all you know. And so all I knew at the moment was basketball. I didn't tell my parents I quit basketball. And I'm sitting in my dorm room like, man, I don't know what to do now. And, you know, I was like, well, I mean, I'm still in college, so I guess I ain't got no choice but to start reading some books and, you know, start getting some A's. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to buckle down. School it is. And that freshman year, after I lost my basketball scholarship, I ended up earning a full ride academic scholarship. And the person that granted me that academic scholarship for seeing how hard I was working was Professor Cavanis and the university. So Professor Cavanis, you changed my life. And that's real talk. Drops mic on that one. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ashton. Look, you're gonna make me look. I'm a G, but you're gonna make me tear up.
Come on now, real G's cry too. It's okay. But hey, I haven't shared that with, especially not on a live session.
No.
But I felt this space was, you know, I felt like we were open in this.
It's absolutely open. And I'll say this is really a full circle moment for me, right? Because I always say that when the student is the teacher, that's when you've done your job. And I've been so fortunate to work with so many phenomenal students. Ashton is just creme de la creme, right? I finished my PhD because I had students like Ashton who were pushing me to finish and telling me, you know, I'd say I do something, they say, work harder, do more. There's more to it.
Hey, so, Sharif might feel this one though. You know, you always working as an athlete. So you probably feel the same way as the rest of us. And right now you're in it. So keep going.
Keep going. I appreciate you, Ashton. I appreciate all of you. Sharif, would you like to add anything else?
Yes. First of all, I want to say thank you. Yes, it is. It is a long grind. I want to say thank you for telling me to keep going because, you know, even those 2 words mean a lot. It actually means a lot from just coming from someone that's paying attention, you know, sees what's going on behind closed doors. But what I would tell to my 18-year-old self is enjoy the moment. You know, I kind of tell to myself every day, I wish I could still play another game of high school basketball because it was just so much fun. And when I was in high school, I wanted to get to college and get to the pros so bad, but I didn't realize like the high school basketball experiences I had were some of the best I had. And even me leaving college now, I'm like, dang, I miss being in school, doing this, doing that. So I would just tell myself to enjoy the moment more. Don't look so far ahead because, you know, at the beginning of the year, when I was 18, I was the number 1 player in California, ranked on ESPN. And then the last month of the year, me being 18, I was in the hospital getting a heart surgery. So I would just tell myself to enjoy the moment more. And there was a lot of things that I wish I could have done differently. And I feel like I made those decisions based on me not enjoying the moment as much. So that's all I would tell my 18-year-old self, to just be where you are.
Look, I feel this is a whole drop the mic moment. I'm forever appreciative of all of the phenomenal panelists. Real Talk fam, join us again in December. Real Talk Tuesdays continue with how I won a big $40,000 Big Future Scholarship December 5th. Then we're going to come back the following week and let's talk money, filling out the FAFSA. But I'm telling you, I mean, I couldn't ask for a more illustrious panel. Key, Tariq, Trey, Sharif, Tiana Marie, Ashton. Absolute honor. Absolute honor. Y'all, it's time. I could go on days with y'all, but let's go ahead and wave goodbye to our Real Talk fam. I appreciate you guys. Have a great night. See you soon.